Hello everybody, this is pt.11 and welcome back to some more Miles Edgeworth Ace Attorney Investigations, The Kidnapped Turnabout. In the previous episode, we had debunked Miss Pulp's theory and almost pegged Lance as the head of the kidnapping scheme. This episode, there's even more testimony, believe it or not. This is a kind of a long part, but whatever. So, let's find out what Miss Pulps saw. If you like what you see, leave a like down below. Comment if you have anything to say. Sorry, a little bit of heartburn. Subscribe to me if you haven't already, and share with your friends so they can join in on this adventure and see if they can solve this as well. Now then, let's get moving. I came back to the hideout long after the other two. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon. He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door. After that, the two of us put on our costumes and made our escape. So Mr. Deacon must have escaped after the two of you left, right? We thought it'd attract too much attention if we left together, so I left first. We planned to meet up again at the stage in the stadium. But then, as I was walking through the park, I got a call from Lance on my cell phone. Motherfucker. I need to regain the accent that I had with him. I'm sorry. Shut the motherfucker. Oliver managed to escape, but it looked like he was waiting until I was alone. He also stole the gun from me at that time. And then the murder happened. Mr. Deacon must have overheard their plan to meet up at the stage. Well, Mr. Prosecutor, Miss Pop saw the victim with her very own eyes. Which means that the victim was still alive at the time, wouldn't you agree? Why does it sound so wrong to me? There must be something amiss about this account. Let's see what happens when I examine it in more detail. I didn't notice she has a bandage on her arm. I came back to the hideout long after the other two. Hold it! When exactly did you arrive back at the hideout? It was after we had picked up the ransom money. And where were you up until the time you returned? I was scouting the park out and making preparations for our escape. I walked around in various areas looking for the best route. So each of them had their own roles to play. After I was done, I went back to the hideout. By that time, Lance had already subdued and restrained Mr. Deacon.
Hold it!
How did Lance look at that time? He looked shocked. He also looked a little down. When I saw that sadness in his eyes, Thank you, that's enough for now. And what of Mr. Deacon? What was his situation like? He had tied Mr. Deacon securely to the beam in the room next door.
Hold
You're sure that it was Mr. Deacon that you saw? Yes, I'm certain of what I saw. Did you go into the other room to check? Lance said it was the best if I didn't get too close to him. That already looks suspicious. Lance, you're such a kind soul. Then are you telling me that you did not confirm that it was Mr. Deacon for yourself? I checked through the slit in the door that separates the two rooms. He had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure. This had to be Mr. Deacon. You saw a Bad Badger head. The captive had a Bad Badger's head on, so I'm absolutely sure it was Mr. Deacon. Hold it! So the tied-out Mr. Deacon was still in his Bad Badger costume? Yes. And? It would appear that she misread the whole situation. What's now? Should I raise an objection? Sure, I don't know where you're going with this, though. The person you saw was not the victim. What? Why not? I will tell you why not. With this! This, Miss Pulps, shows us that the person you saw was not the victim. I don't know where you're going with this. Is it just the head itself? Take that! Oh yeah, I was right, alright. Miss Pulps, this person you saw was not Mr. Deacon at all. Huh? The person you actually saw was this person. It was me, you moron! Ah, shit. Ah. There we go. It was me. Huh? The person I saw was you, Mr. Edgeworth? I always thought it was a bit odd. Why would the kidnappers abduct me even after I had handed over the ransom? Oh, let's get nervous. It's not as though I saw the face of the kidnappers. If I were them, I would have just taken the $1 million and ran. But in the end, there was a point to it all. It was to make me look like Mr. Deacon. And if that was the reason for which I was abducted, then I believe we can assume that the victim was already dead at that time. Well, Lance, am I right? Bits. You showed Miss Pulps a person, namely me, with the Bad Badger's head on. And then made your costume to escape together. Or so you pretended. Huh? What do you mean he pretended? Exactly that. I believe Lance watched you escape, and then doubled back to the hideout. Probably to come and remove the Bad Badger head from my unconscious self. And to create his fake prison with the prop sword. He then escaped via the passageway. Not so fast. Hold your tongue, boy. Don't get up in that tidal wave of words coming out of Mr. Prosecutor's mouth. Tidal wave? We've heard a lot coming out of you, but I've yet to see a shred of evidence. The victim's betrayal and his subsequent detainment. All that could have happened while you were out cold. That's right. You were out for quite a while, Mr. Prosecutor. Even if that were the case, Miss Pulps would have still seen me tied to that beam. I was scared of Mr. Deacon, so I didn't go into the next room. So I really have no idea if you were in there or not, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, it would seem that you can't prove a thing. Ugh! Hold it. Who said that? Oh. Shit, hello. Please, wait. Mr. Armano. Ho ho ho! Miles, my boy. It looks like you're really giving it your all. Lance. It's not good to cause trouble for others. Dad. I'm so... I'm sorry. Just the voice that I'm giving him in the situation that this is kind of just funny, that's all. Let's see. You're the one in charge of the investigation, correct? Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry that my son has been nothing but trouble. This probably won't make up for anything, but I have some evidence for you. Oh? Do you now? What the hell? Is that what I think it is? It's the Bad Badger costume the victim was wearing, and a gun! I couldn't wait around for the police, so I went to find this myself. It appears that they were disposed of in the sea. Ugh! Is there nothing no one in this country that actually obeys the law? There. Now, Agent Lang, please calm down. What the heck is that scrap of paper? This appears to be a letter from the Chief of Police. Please allow Mr. Armano complete freedom to do as he sees fit, it says. What? The Chief of Police? What the... Just who does he think he is? A person who wields the highest authority in this area. Ho ho ho. There now. There is no need to be so upset. I'm not a cop from this land, so I'm not bound by the laws of your country. No. Oh my god, why does he talk so slow? Stop it. This wasn't meant to strong-arm you into anything. It's just a request. I'm only asking that you please respect the laws of the land. Ugh. Can't really say no to that. However, returning to the topic at hand. It doesn't matter who found the evidence. Its value remains unchanged. Alright, now let's take a look at this new evidence. I've already got the results back. I had a special forensics research lab that I'm on good terms with conduct the tests. They verify that the blood on this costume belonged to Oliver. As for the gun, the only fingerprints they could find were yours, Lauren! What? You disappoint me, Miles. I can't believe that you would cause my son such stress and heartache. Thank goodness I was able to find the final pieces of evidence. With this, you'll have no reason left to push my poor boy around. That's it. These are the case-making pieces of evidence. Ha! I'll be the judge of that. Alright. Switch it over to the top screen. This bullet hole. It looks kind of burnt around the edges. Wait, those burn marks were left by gunpowder. This is the most important fact. Why is that? Because it is proof that the victim was shot at point-blank range. The voice is getting gravelly. Could this gun be the actual murder weapon? There's nothing unusual about this. There it is. What's this? A looks like there's something inside the costume head. Hey, they sparkle. I bet they're really valuable. Sorry, but they're just pieces of a mirror. Why are they in here? A mirror? Well, are these not the most definitive pieces of evidence you've ever seen? Thank you, Dad. Motherfucker. Thank you, Dad. This should even be enough to convince Mr. Edgeworth over there. Oh, the music is picking up. Alright. I want to make sure. I said, shut the motherfucker up, motherfucker. Yeah. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. And they prove it was Lolly who killed Oliver. But Oliver was also after Lolly's life. So Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was even acting in self-defense. The fingerprints on the weapon, huh? Oh no, this isn't helpful at all! Look, Mr. Edgeworth, all I want to do is save Lolly. But in the end, all I can do is watch as on as she takes the punishment for her crimes. So maybe all you can do, however, I still have a case to solve and a job to do. The job of unraveling your insidious lie. You wounded me. Why would you believe me? Won't believe me, even in the face of all this evidence. Make no mistake, there are fingerprints on that murderous gun. Hold it! Those fingerprints, are you sure that they belong to Miss Pulps? There's no mistake about it. Through my connections, I have the best forensics techniques money can buy performed. I find that to be a bit peculiar. Oh, what? Are you trying to pick up an argument with me? What should I do? Should I raise an objection? I don't know why you would raise an objection. Blah, 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 blah. Here we go. That's what I want. No. I have to do this every time I want to save without going to the menu. Frankly, I don't believe that Miss Pulp's prints should be on that gun to begin with. And the reason why Miss Pulp's prints should not be on the gun is nope. You know what? I'm actually just gonna go through the rest of everything. I kinda jumped at it too soon. And they proved that it was Lolly who killed Oliver.
Hold it!
Hold it! You sure are calm for someone who is accusing his own girlfriend of murder. You have it all wrong. Allowing her to pay the price is a form of love. She says she always wants to pay back her debt to society, but Oliver was also after Lolly's life. Hold it! And why do you believe that the victim was set on taking Miss Pulp's life? I suppose because he wanted to silence her, to keep her quiet because she knows the truth behind the kidnapping. In that case, why did he not target you as well? That's because he knew that if he killed me, he wouldn't be able to control my father. Right you are. Even if it cost me millions, I would have had the killer found. I believe he didn't kill you for an entirely different reason, however. I digress. Look, more than why he didn't kill me, I'm worried about what'll happen to Lolly. So, Mr. Edgeworth, even you must see that Lolly was only acting in self-defense. Hold it! Justified self-defense. I suppose that is a possibility, given the circumstances. Really? Oh, thank goodness. However, self-defense was not necessary in this case. What do you mean? Miss Pulps is innocent. She didn't do anything, so why would she need to defend herself from nothing? You still don't believe a word I say, do you? His entire argument hinges on the fact that her fingerprints are on the gun. However, the truth does not lie here. It lies in whatever he is hiding from me, but not for long.
Hold it!
Hold it. Alright, so obviously there is something here. Just need to find it. Why should it not be on the gun? Frankly, I believe I should have gone with this before, but she was wearing a costume, right? Take that. It's simply not possible for Miss Pulps to have left any prints on the murder weapon. Because while she was at the stadium, Miss Pulps was wearing a costume. Huh? But there's been no mistake. We found fingerprints. Well, Miss Pulps, do you remember touching the gun at all at any time? Yes. As a matter of fact, I did hold it for a bit back in the hideout. I handed it off to Mr. Deacon when he and Lance left for the haunted house. To retrieve the ransom money, I suppose. And there you have it. That is when Miss Pulp's prints found their way onto the gun. Do you understand now, Mr. Armano? The fingerprints do not prove that Miss Pulps is the murderer. You still don't have anything to prove that she isn't the killer. You seem very adamant about insisting that your girlfriend is the cold-blooded killer. Okay. Oh, Lance. What? No way. I'm incredibly worried about her. But that doesn't change the fact that you don't have any evidence, right? That's where you're wrong. I have the evidence. What? How? The story that Miss Pulps killed the victim at stage is in the stadium. The whole affair is simply not true, because that was not the real crime scene, but a setup. This proves that the real murder was not committed at the stadium at all. Simply the costume. There were burn marks. Take that! Let us take another good look at the costume the victim was wearing. then I believe you will see why I insist he was not shot at the stadium. This is the fault of the costume that proves it. Stop it. Stop it. Close enough. Take that! The burn around this bullet hole was made when the victim was shot at point-blank range. Ah, so you mean that the murder Miss Obeck saw at the stadium really was... Yes, she saw two people, but they were separated by a distance. If the victim was indeed shot from below the stage, there shouldn't be a gunpowder burn. Ugh! Look at you, Mr. Smarty Pants Prosecutor. Did you seem to know all the answers? Why not tell us where the real crime scene is then? Lance set me up to look like Mr. Deacon back at the hideout. If that's the case, then the murder must have happened prior to that. And the location of where Lance and the victim were just before I was imprisoned was... I've got it! I know the real scene of the murder. The real location in which Mr. Deacon was killed is here. Take that! I think it's not unreasonable to assume the murder took place in the haunted house. The haunted house? Yes, and I have proof that it's highly likely that the victim was killed there. What proves that the real scene of the crime was the haunted house? Take that! These were inside the costume the victim was wearing. They're fragments of a mirror. A mirror? And what does it have to do with anything? Indeed. You don't exactly expect to find pieces of a mirror inside a costume. Yeah, that's actually pretty dangerous. However, there is one place I can think of where there is a plethora of mirror fragments. And that is the haunted house. Now given there was a broken mirror in the hideout, but whatever. Lance Armano, I propose that you killed Mr. Deacon with the revolver in the haunted house! Yes, making a Clue reference! Oh, I forgot about that. But I knew, like, once he started that, I knew where that was going. After that, you stole the blue Badgermobile to move his body to Wild Wild West area. The timing of when the blue Badgermobile was stolen confirms this as fact. Miles, my boy, say no more. I'm sorry, Mr. Armano, but I cannot do that. Whoa, nice audio skip there. Be quiet. Yes, please do something. Stop that boy from squeaking any more nonsense. As Armano, correct? I meant you. Now be quiet, Gramps. How dare you? I don't need words. The only thing I require is evidence. Decisive evidence. And to call these mirrors a bit decisive is a bit too presumptuous, Mr. Prosecutor. What? See now, wasn't there a mirror in the kidnapper's hideout? I knew that was gonna happen. Alright. Yes, there was a mirror there. A mirror that's for the haunted house. You see? Isn't it possible the fragments got into the costume there? But Agent Lang, there were no fragments on the floor, so the probability is very low. Not so fast. What time are we at? Okay. Yikes. Probability. Langsy says, on Choose Pass, the word probability does not exist. The only thing that does exist is definitive proof. And the question, Mr. Prosecutor, is do you have the definitive proof you need? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, do you? Do you have solid evidence that proves the murder took place at the haunted house? The answer is no. See? Since you don't have any... Shut up! I don't have the evidence yet, but... certain the murder occurred around the time I turned the ransom over. At that time, the only people at the haunted house besides myself were Lance and Mr. Deacon. If I can prove that the murder took place at the haunted house, then I can prove Lance's guilt in connection to the murder. What now, Mr. Edgeworth? Agent Lang, I have a special request. Yeah? I'd like to prove to you that the scene of the crime was indeed the haunted house. Why in the world are you asking the werewolf for permission? Because I don't really have a choice if I want to find the truth. Alright, permission granted. But you're not to touch a single thing, got it? That won't be a problem. All that's important to me is that the truth be brought to light. It doesn't matter by who or how it's done, as long as it is. Sheena! I'm here. Put the paperwork in for authorization immediately. Understood. I'll go get the Gatewater Group's approval right now. Whoops, there is no right now. Hold it! Who was that? Now. Oh, stop speaking so slow, Ernest! You're getting on my nerves. Let's hold on for a second. There is no need to obtain an approval. Mr. Amano? Agent Lang, if you would please take a look at this. What is this? Sheena! It's the deed to the haunted house. The deed? Read it out loud. Gatewater Land Incorporated hereby bequeaths the property known as the haunted house to Mr. Armano for the lump sum of $1 million, paid in full in cash. What? Oh. As you can see, I am now the legal owner of the haunted house. Are you kidding? When did you... I ran into the owner of the park earlier, and we made the deal almost immediately. How quickly things move. Prepare a... apologize for the kidnapping a bit earlier. So I don't believe that I will forgive him. After all, he did return the ransom money. That's the way things are, so if you would please discuss things with me from now on. Discuss? What is there to discuss? My permission to enter the haunted house, of course. While we were busy listening to Lance's story, Mr. Armano was out there preempting us. Permission to search the haunted house is denied. End of discussion. Agent Lang, I want you to arrest that girl. And Miles, you should hurry on home now, my boy, before I really lose my temper. Ugh! Mr. Armano definitely has the deck stacked in his favor. What should I do? If I leave it like this, the truth will be lost forever. Now, I don't know if you guys can hear me because I accidentally unplugged my microphone, but let's just be clear. If you can hear me, in the next episode we are going to go and solve this out. So I will see you guys later.